on LinkedIn and about 4 different platforms besides Sales Revolution. That's usually what we do. So let me make sure we're in live. And let's see, where are we here? Yep. Okay, we are live. Hey. Smiley face. Okay. All right. We are live here in the Facebook group. I am with one of our clients. Jerry, how do you pronounce your last name, man? I'm bad with names. I'm from Arkansas. We don't know how to, pronounce names down there.
Moen, like the faucet.
Like Moen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Moen. So
just
Jerry
like
Moen.
the faucet.
And where are you based out of, Jerry?
I live in Salt Lake, Utah area.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, yeah. I went to college at Utah Valley University. That's where I studied behavioral science and human psychology. So I live down in Provo-Orem area. So I'm very familiar with like Salt Lake City and, all that stuff up there, which is awesome. Like I would say Utah is my favorite state besides Missouri, where I'm really from, and now Arizona, where we have our offices at here. So Utah is the bomb. Go SLC, Christian said. Yeah, Salt Lake City's the bomb. All right. So let's talk about this. So, a lot of times when people, because we have probably a good 5 to 10, maybe 15 new testimonials that get posted in the Facebook group or on our Instagram account every single day that come in from clients. And we saw that you posted one here maybe a few days ago or something, how you went from making, 7 to 10 grand a month in commissions to now having some months where you're making 100,000 in commissions, but you're averaging about $70,000 per month in commissions. Now that is fairly good. That's good, right? That's definitely above the average with the average salesperson. Most salespeople don't even make that in a year in your industry as well. I looked up your industry. Why don't you tell everybody what you sell real quick?
I'm in solar.
Okay. So you sell solar. I looked up your industry before we got on here. Do you know what the average person in your industry makes on an annual basis?
That's good. I don't know.
$47,344 per year. That's what the average salesperson makes in your industry, yet you're making almost twice that every month. Okay, so there's obviously some skill level that is acquired. Okay, so a lot of times when people post testimonials like yours in there, everybody's like, oh, what do you sell? Like, I need to get in that industry so I can make that amount of money. Yet the average salesperson in your industry makes less than $50,000 a year. That doesn't make any sense. So in your mind, were you just born out of your mother's womb with these advanced selling skills and questioning techniques and tonality, or is that something you learned?
Something I learned, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it wasn't very good at this for a while.
So something you learned. So before I got on here, you told me that you got into your profession only a little bit over 3 years ago, right? Like 2019?
Okay. Yes.
What caused you to go into selling, getting into selling solar? What was the career change there? Because you said you were in B2B before that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a business owner. So I moved to Utah from California and kind of had a business there and had some income from it. But I had a friend that was in solar, and he worked at this company and got me in. So
he said, hey, come over here, work for this company. You can sell solar. And tell me about your experience starting out. And then we're going to give some folks some knowledge bombs here of, some different questions that you're using that we've taught you and how you're using them that they can apply for their industries as well. Okay. Because we have tons of training 150 different industries and got tons of different industries probably watching you here right now. So, so what happened? So walk us through.
I mean, I was always in sales kind of, never officially in like a salesperson, but sold for myself. So I was used to talking to people and I like people and everything. So I fit into it fairly well, but I think it was just like the typical, like you're assuming the sell and you're framing it where they're going to make a decision at the end, yes or no. And you're asking all these logical questions that are, have to be a yes answer.
Okay.
And
So
so that's how I was trained.
yeah. So you got into that and you were trained just kind of like a normal salesperson would be trained, just regular, I would say old school techniques. And
Hmm.
you said you got up to you said you're averaging around $7,000 a month or so selling that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was up and down. I think I was doing good to hit over 10. And then, I would have some months it was sad. And then I would have, but I wasn't the worst guy there and I wasn't the best guy. I was like the middle guy.
You're just
So
average.
just average,
Okay.
and which was decent.
Yeah.
It also is the company too. Like the commissions where I'm at now are really good, and I'm with awesome people. I was an
Are your
employee
are
at
your
that other
are your
company.
commissions 1,000 times higher?
No, but
Okay.
that made a difference too, for sure.
Made a little bit of a difference. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right. So, and let's do this. My team is like, hey, you didn't introduce yourself. So if you're brand new to the Facebook group, because we're streaming live on StreamYard. So we're going live in our Facebook group, my personal Facebook. We're going live on our Facebook business page. There's like 66,000 of you follow me around on there. There's almost 18,000 of you here in this Facebook group, Sales Revolution. LinkedIn, I think we got 7,000 or 8,000 of you guys in there. We don't do much on LinkedIn, but starting to do more there. And we're going live on YouTube. So if you're brand new watching us, you don't know what's going on. My name is Jeremy Miner. I'm the chairman and founder of Seventh Level. All right. We are a global sales training company that helps people like Jerry and people like you watching me and him right now. So we help sales professionals like you. We help coaches like you. We help sales executives, leadership, sales management, sales managers, business owners. And we do that by transforming the way you and your team sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that actually work with human behavior, okay, rather than against it. Now, Jerry, when you were introduced to that concept, because it looks like you got into one of our starting programs, NEPQ 2.0, when you started learning different techniques and questions that work with human behavior, what started to open up in your mind compared to before?
It was a hard transfer for me in some ways, because when you're so grooved into doing things one way and assuming, it feels weird almost to ask questions. It's a foreign thing, but once I've kind of learned it and kind of memorized it like an actor, kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
and it was natural,
Yeah.
then it becomes natural, and then people are talking to you mostly and answering your questions and opening up.
Yeah.
So
makes selling pretty easy at that point compared to before.
it's fun for the most part now versus before. It's stressful.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that, the reason why. So using what techniques? So those are called neuro-emotional persuasion questions. So when we talk about NEPQ, that's what we mean, neuro-emotional persuasion questions. Now we have to teach you the right tonality, okay? Because you can't sound like a scripted robot, right? That tonality that we teach you with the right questioning puts your prospects at ease, eliminates sales pressure. Have you seen that in your prospects since you started to use that? What are you noticing? How do your prospects react to you in the beginning now compared to how they used to?
They're just more open, and they are more relaxed.
Yeah.
I think they don't feel I use neutral language a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe could possibly work for you.
Yeah.
It's real low key, and people are relaxed more.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when they're not nervous, when they don't have anxiety and they relax, they become far more open to what you're offering. And it gets them to pull you in, which we're going to give you guys some techniques today in solar and other industries. Doesn't matter what you sell, to get your prospects to pull you in. Okay. Now, if you're on the live right now, I want you to go to your phone real quick and I want you to post #live. Several of you done that. Ruby, thanks for doing that. Daniel, thanks for doing that. Nicholas, thanks for doing that. So if you're on live right now, post #live. And if you're on the replay, I'm going to have you post #replay. So if you're on live right now, post #live. And if you're on the replay, go post #replay. Now, if you want to learn these type of skills that me and Jerry are talking about, if you want to make commission, if you want to start getting your first commission checks of 10,000 a month in commissions and 20,000 a month in commissions and 30 and 40 and 50,000 plus in commissions, like Jerry is doing, like thousands of our clients are doing day in and day out, that are in the same industry that you are in right now watching me say this to you. I guarantee you we're training salespeople and companies in your industry that are kicking your butt in closed deals and percentages of income, like Jerry is kicking everybody's butt in solar. If you want to learn those skills, message me right now. You can go to whatever platform you're on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's in the Facebook group, whether it's on LinkedIn, and message me directly now. Either me or somebody on our team will message you back right after this and give you training options so you can have these results as well, okay? If you can't figure out how to message me, somebody said I'm a little 10K month girl or something like that, Ruby. Well, Ruby, do you want to be a bigger 20K month girl or a 30K month girl? Selling what you are, a 40K month girl? Inflation is not going away. It's only going to get worse. So it might be a time to start developing our skills to make more money if you want to outpace inflation. It's not going away, folks. I can tell you that. All right. So if you want to learn those skills, you can either message me right now directly on the platform you're on, or you can post hashtag NEPQ. You can post hashtag NEPQ, hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or someone on our team will message you more details. All right. Now, what I'm also going to have you do, if you're on the live right now, or she says, yes, 100K month girl. You're California solar girl. I like that. All right. So I'm going to have each of you go smash. So go on your phone real quick. I'm going to have you smash the heart button and smash the like button. So go, I'm not going to interview Jerry and have him drop some knowledge bombs that we've trained him without you smashing the heart button and smashing the like button hundreds of times. I mean, why would we help you sell more, everybody? So go smash the heart button, smash the like buttons. I better see hundreds of smashed hearts and hundreds of smashed likes. All right. So Jerry, let's run into this. Okay. So so first of all, you're making 5, 6, 7 grand a month. You're kind of right in the middle of the pack in your company. Okay. You're making a little bit more of what the average person does in your industry. What caused you to be like, I want to learn more advanced skills and I want to sell more? Like, what got in your mind that triggered you to go out there looking for better training?
I just ran into your Facebook group basically, and it clicked with me. Like, this makes sense to me. It sounds easier than trying to try to assume and try to get people to do stuff like that.
You got in the Facebook group, just like everybody else is watching here is probably in our Facebook group. Okay. And you're like, hey, I'm going to give this a try. You got into our NEPQ 2.0 training program. That's where you started. Okay. So you get into that. What was going on in your mind when you started going through the virtual training course?
Like I said, it was a little bit strange at first, just making the transition mentally to, it felt weird almost, like I'm going to ask this person that question, it felt awkward until I started to realize that I don't think they feel awkward by it. and it works, they're opening up. Yeah.
So you started learning connecting questions that took focus off you and put it on them. Now, when you would get on a call, before you learned NEPQ, tell us specifically what you would say before. Take us back down memory lane.
Well, before I was all in-home appointments, so you would go in and you would give them benefits and you ask them which one that they like. And then you would go right into the presentation pretty much.
And then they would do what?
And then at the end, you just say, so who's got the better credit?
Okay. And they would say what?
Sometimes they would say yes. And I don't know, we got to think about this.
Yeah. So you got a lot of objections, right? That's why you're only making 5, 6, 7 grand a month. Okay. So now that you're starting to learn NEPQ, because you're just in 2.0, you're not even in our advanced stuff, which your income will probably, I would say, could almost double from what you're at now. Okay. So while you're learning this, connecting questions, what's one good connecting question that you've learned that you're now applying that triggers them to want to engage? Give us an example.
Well, I mean, at the beginning, when I first go in, I basically get into it. And then I first ask them, how long they've been in their home.
Yeah.
And then when I say, how long you've been with this utility, like 10 years now. I mean, do you like being with that utility?
Okay. So you're into problem awareness now with that question. Sure. So you're going into their home. So typically, because we train a lot of solar salespeople as well. We train solar salespeople.
I'm virtual now, so it's all virtual. That was before.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we train salespeople in your space as well that go door to door, and also that take inbound appointments on Zoom, and also ones that go out to the home. It's just kind of all over the place. So are you asking connecting questions, or are you just kind of going right into situation questions?
So at first, I just ask them how long they've been in their home, what their utility they're using is, how long they've been with them.
Okay, those are your situation questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you ask them a problem awareness question. Okay, so let's say that they're with Nevada Energy or whatever. So you're in Utah. I don't know who the Utah Power Company is there. What's the Utah Power Company? I can't remember.
It's Rocky Mountain Power in Utah.
Okay, Rocky Mountain. Okay, so you're saying, so you've been with this, so you've been with Rocky Mountain for the past 10 years. Do you like using Rocky Mountain? Is that what you're asking? Like some problem awareness like that? Okay. Yep. And they're either going to say, well, what do they typically say to that?
Typically they'll say, yeah, they're not bad. I mean, I've had no issues with them.
Okay. And you do what?
I say, so, I mean, it sounds like things are going pretty good with Rocky Mountain Power. Is there anything you would change about them if you could? And
they say?
Yeah, they'll say, well, I mean, I have some outages and, I'm paying rate increases, and I say, and then after that, I'd say, what impact has that had on you?
Okay, so and here's what I would show you how to do as well. Okay, so hold on. When you say rate increases, what type of increases are you seeing? Because you want to have them relive that pain, right? Oh, because I don't know, like in your state, how much of those rate increases been going up since everything's been going on in the last year?
Right.
No, I'm asking you.
About 4%.
Yeah, because typically on average, nationwide, utility rates usually go up 4 to 5% on average every year after year after year. It's not like they just stay the same and then 10 years later they go up by 3%. It's typically 4 to 5% every year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So basically, and one good thing that we've even taught door-to-door salespeople that sell exactly what you're doing, because it's a little bit different when you're obviously knocking on the doors compared to coming into the home, because you're pretty much cold calling. Is we're asking them. So and there's kind of a door approach that you do before, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But typically, you knock on the door, right? And they're like, hey, and you've got your like notepad here, like you're almost like a meter reader, like you've got like this, little 10, what I'm talking about, like the clipboard, because and you're looking around, because the first industry I sold in was door-to-door alarm sales, right? So that's, we teach a lot of people in door-to-door, obviously B2B as well, B2C, it doesn't really matter, kind of all different industries. But with door-to-door, a lot is going on in the prospect's mind from the very time they open that door. Okay, it's a little bit different than you just going to the home. All right, so I want to share this with everybody on here that might do door-to-door as well. So you're standing to the side and you have to act confused, like you're looking at the roof, something like that. You can't just sit here like this, like, hello, my name is Jerry, how's it going? You can't do that. They're just going to slam the door on you pretty quick. So you knock on the door and they come like, hey, how can I help you? Yeah, are you guys the homeowner here? Like, you're confused. And you know what people do? You know what people do with people who are confused? Like, you're the old man walking into the gas station, you're confused, you don't know where you're going. What do?
They want to help.
They want to help. So they're like, yeah, we're the homeowners. What's this all about? And you say, oh, yeah, it's not that big, but I'm just Jeremy. I apologize. I can't stay long. I've got an appointment over here on the next street over. But I stopped by to see if you could possibly help me out for a moment. Sure. How can we help you? What's going on? Well, I'm not sure if you speak with your neighbors or know what's going on or not, but here, it might actually be easier if I show you and you bring your little iPad there, because a lot of solar guys carry iPads. Okay. Might be easier if I actually show you. This is your house here. And they'll look at it. This is your house here. You're going to kind of turn to the side and angle, and you're going to show them the map of like existing customers. This is your house here. And these are all of your neighbors. And they all get their electricity from us, not Rocky Mountain Power. We're not like selling solar panels. If that made sense, I'm sure you'd probably already have those installed. But they all buy their electricity from us rather than Rocky Mountain. Actually, hold on. I've got this sales structure written for somebody, and I wanted to kind of go through this word for word. So we say, yeah, these are your neighbors right here, and they all get their electricity from us, not XYZ Power. We're not actually selling solar panels. If that made sense, you probably already have them. But the reason why we're out here is we're just competing with Rocky Mountain. Like, can I ask what the main reason was that you chose them to be your electric provider? And they're going to say, well, we didn't have a choice, right? Because aren't they the only choice in that state? I'm assuming. I don't know. Most states.
For the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have a choice. And then you say, so are you opposed to homeowners having a choice? Now, when you say, are you opposed, psychologically, people are going to be like, no, I'm not opposed. Or they're going to say, no, of course not. And then you're going to say, well, how it works. And just so you know, I don't know enough about the home and your situation or what you're paying now in utilities to know if we could even help you. But instead of you like buying like a $30,000 solar system, we just have you purchase the electricity the panels produce. And that electricity costs far less than if you were having to buy it from the power lines through Rocky Mountain. Now, I should probably ask, how long have you actually lived in the home using Rocky Mountain though? And you go right into your first situation question. Do you see how that works? How that kind of smooths, glides in there? Any questions on that?
Pretty good.
You probably never heard.
Maybe you want to go do door to door now.
Yeah, we have a lot of that training in our NEPQ 3.0. Okay.
No, I'll never go back to door to door.
Now, let's go into this a little bit more. All right. So, problem awareness question. So typically at that point, they'll say, obviously we don't have a choice. Okay. But you've been with Rocky Mountain the last 5 years. Do you like using them? Okay. Now, sometimes they're like, yeah, they're not bad. But a lot of times they'll be like you said, they'll be like, well, and if they say, yeah, not bad, you'll go into your two truths question, which you kind of did. I'll show you how to do that a little bit better, maybe. Okay. Just make it more specific. But a lot of times they'll be like, well, we're paying a lot, or we had some outage or something, the rates have been going up, blah, blah, blah. And that's where you want to clarify and probe off of their answers like you were just doing to bring out more pain. Okay. Now, when you learned how to clarify and probe that NEPQ process from 2.0, what did you notice your prospects started doing?
They just start to open up more.
In what way?
More in a deeper way, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Okay. And when they open
maybe not just the surface stuff, but
yeah, because like, what happens if your prospect stays surface level with you? At the end of that conversation or conversations when you're trying to close them, what do they typically say?
I'll think about it.
I need to think it over. We need to keep looking around. Now's not a good time. See, when your prospects stay surface level with you because you haven't learned the right questions that work with human behavior to get them to open up and go below the surface, they never really tell you what their real problems are. They never feel any pain. There's no gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. The gap can only be created by what? Your questioning skills that allow them to see how big of a problem they really have. And most people, when you first start talking to them, especially with what you sell, don't really realize they have that bad of a problem, right? Or maybe they don't understand how bad the problem is or what the consequences are if they don't do anything about solving the problem, which in your case would be they'd be paying their utilities for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and way more.
And way more. And it's like renting a home. Instead of buying a home where they could have this cost, I'm assuming of what you sell, I think it's paid off after 20 or 25 years, right? Where they don't even pay the bill.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. They pay minimum.
It's like buying a home. Are you going to buy a home and have it paid off in 25 years where you never have to make a payment? Or are you just going to keep renting the home for the next 50 years? That's the same thing with utilities. Do you want to buy the utilities and have them paid off? And so when you're older and on a limited income, you don't have that bill, which let's say over the next 25 years, if it goes up by 4 or 5% per year, and I'm not really good at math, that's 4 to 5% a year. How much are you paying now? About $400 a month. Okay, if it goes up 5% a year, times 25 years. Okay, so that's going to be about $1,200 a year by the time you're 65. So if you're on a limited income, how would you be able to pay $1,200 a month for utilities? See, there's little things that you can do that get them to realize, like, oh my gosh, I've got to buy it now and pay it off so I don't have to pay it when I'm on a limited income and retired. But you learn something new there.
Yeah, I use the limited income thing a lot.
Do you? Tell us how you do it.
No, I actually have a graph in my presentation, and I show them. I have it all like what you did. I have it all there.
Even
they
better.
can see, and
Okay.
So it's visual, and I have the numbers pop in on my presentation, like the rises. This is what your payment's going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And
or you can just get the electricity through us. Your payment will always be this, because I don't think you guys increase it, right? It just stays the same. Is that how it works?
It stays the same, yeah. So I'll ask them, like, when you guys, I mean, can you guys go forward? I know you guys are almost retired in a couple of years, or you are retired. How do you think that's going to affect you when you're paying like this amount in 15 years versus, and this is conservative, right? Like you said, it's going to go up even faster probably. So let's say, how's that going to affect you when you're everything else is rising and that income is getting less and less over time?
So, yeah, and I would even ask them, how will you be able to pay that once you retire and you're on a limited income in 15 years when the bill is this compared to now? Like, how would you be able to pay it? See, that's it. They didn't realize it, like, oh, SHIT, we won't be able to pay it. You see what I mean by that? Okay.
How are you going to afford that?
Yeah. How are you going to be able to pay that in 15 years when you retire and your income goes down by 75%, yet your bill is 3 times the amount? What would happen then? See, it's like you're asking a consequence question right there. You see where I'm at? Okay, give us an example of like a solution awareness question. So you get in there. They obviously, because of your question skills, you're learning from the NEPQ virtual training course with the 2.0 product. You're getting them to see how bad their problem really is, that they didn't even know they had before you walked into their house, because they don't really think about it that much, okay? It's like utilities is just like something they just pay because they didn't think they had another choice, right? And so how do you get them to see what their future is going to look like once these newfound problems are actually solved? What's a good solution awareness question we've taught you that you're now applying?
So I obviously have a lot to learn. Like, that's what's the most exciting part is, once I get into
level,
I'm just in the beginner, and what I've done with the beginner is like amazing, so once I can move on, but I kind of work it in my presentation. So I have visuals because it's virtual, and I work those in as I'm going through, like the rate increase slides. I'm showing them a cost of doing nothing slide, and I'm working those numbers with them. So I have my questions built in the presentation where I stop and ask.
Give me an example of a question for everybody.
So so getting them to see the future, you say?
Yeah, getting them to see what their future is going to look like once these problems are solved, like a solution awareness question.
So I don't know if I have a specific one like that, honestly.
You probably
maybe
should.
Give me a good one.
You'd be making another 20 grand a month if you did.
Probably, like I said, it's I've went through this and changed it so many times too. I picking off your free videos and stuff too.
I know you're trying to piecemeal it together. You should just get into 3.0 where it's right there tomorrow. Okay, so let's say that we were able to come in, we're able to lower your rates permanently, where you're saving around, I think we had looked, it's going to be around $23,000 over the next 20 years. You've been able to keep that money rather than giving it to Rocky Mountain. What would that do for you personally?
So I do have one. I say, suppose this ended up working out for you guys, kind of like so many other people I've helped, and we're kind of able to permanently lower that electric bill, save you, say, $15,000 over the next 10, 15 years. what do you think that would do for you guys personally?
Yeah, and here's another way to reword that a little bit better. Let's say that we're able to come in, we're able to reduce your rate down, because typically, like, what's the average bill in Utah utilities?
It is probably 100 and something is the average. Utah's pretty low rate.
Let's say 150 a month. So
yeah, probably.
What is the average bill with you guys if they switch over for 25 years?
It's probably dropping at least 20%.
Okay, so let's say instead of paying 100 or 150, they're going to pay 100. Okay, so let's say that we come in, we're able to take your bill from 150 down to 100, like we do with other clients, which you're only saving like, $50, $60 a month. That's only like $700 a year. That's not a huge amount of money. But besides you just saving the $700-800 a year times 20 years, what is that? $16,000. Besides you just saving that money, how do you see this benefiting you the most? That's another way to use that. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Then you can also say, and then you can also wrap in there with solution awareness question. You can also say something like this. You can ask this question. Now that this is coming to mind. I believe we put this in the 3.0. But you'll also, you'll be like, yeah, it's just, it's just like, the home you bought. What was the main reason why you bought the home rather than just not renting a home for the next 40 years? Well, we wanted to have ownership. We didn't want to have a payment, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And that's the question. That's exactly why people come to us wanting to pay less now for the utilities. But who cares about saving $60 a month? That's only $700, $800 a year. I mean, you times that by 20 years, yeah, that adds up. That's $16,000. But who cares about that? But the reason why people come to us is because after 25 years, they don't have a bill anymore. So when your neighbors are still paying your utility bills 25 years from now that have gone up by 5% every year. So now instead of paying 150, they're paying about 650. You won't have a bill. You not having that bill and you're on a limited income, how do you see that benefiting you the most at that point in your life? See, there's a different way you can ask that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, do you, and if they have some type of an objection at the end, you can say, well, just depends on, what you feel is more risky. Is it more risky to get involved now and drop your bill automatically by 20%, and then in 25 years, you don't have a bill anymore when you've retired and you're on a limited income, so you keep that money? Or is it more risky for you to keep paying Rocky Mountain every single month? Your bill keeps going up 5% every single month for the next 25 years, and then you retire and have a very limited income, you have to pay even more than you are now. Which is more risky? See, that's
I have a question kind of like that at the end, similar.
Give it to me. What is it?
I just say something similar to that. Like, if you guys look at this, we've looked at both options. I guess, which way do you think is going to cost you more or is more risky? Like getting started now and saving money and, getting the ball rolling, or would, paying the utilities cost you more?
Yeah. And I'd even be more specific that, like, is it more risky to get solar now? You save automatically around 20%. And in 25 years, you have no bill at all. So you'll keep that money. Like when you're on a limited income retired, you won't have to pay that anymore. Your home will be paid off and your utilities are paid off. You'll never have any bill with your home. Or is it more risky for you guys to do nothing at all? Keep paying Rocky Mountain. Your rates keep going up, conservatively speaking, 5% every single year for 25 years. And now when you retire in 25 years, your bill is going to be $650 a month and you don't have the income to even pay it. Which is more.
So that works pretty good with younger people, but I deal with a lot of older ones around retired 50s. So they're like, I'm going to be dead in 25 years.
Well,
but then they're still locking that in,
So let's say they're 50 years old or 55. Well, it just depends. You might be dead when you're 75 rated, but let's pretend that the good Lord keeps you here until you're 83 or 85. And let's say your rates have gone up 5% conservatively every single year. And now instead of paying $150, you're now having to pay about $650 per month. and you're 83 years old and on a limited income, how would you then be able to pay all that money without the income to pay it?
Mm-hmm.
See, that gets them thinking. Now, if they're already 85, it's a little bit different. But even if they're 60 and they're 85, who's to say that they're not going to live to 85?
Yeah.
I mean, the average person dies when they're 79, but with medicine the way it's going, those rates are going up every year.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you end up living past 80 years old, like a lot of the population is starting to do, and you have a limited income, and now your rates have gone up 5% every year, which would probably be conservative, and now you're paying on $650 a month, yet you don't have any income to pay it because you're on Social Security? What would happen then? See, that's a good consequence question. See what I mean? All right.
For sure.
All right. What else should we know? What's something big here that everybody should know about NEPQ and getting to the next level that's helped you?
Just start, that's the biggest thing. Just take action and start. I started with 2.0, but I was in a terrible financial situation. And with solar, it takes a while to get paid. So I'm just getting paid, and I'm going to get into the inner circle. It's my goal here soon.
Yeah, because what happens to everybody if they don't do anything? Like, where would you be now if you hadn't got into NEPQ 4 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it's like a dream world. I honestly can't believe how good it is. I mean, it really is. It really does work. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I would hope so by now. We only have like 5,360 some testimonials in the first 28 months. So I don't know. Maybe everybody got all the good leads there. I don't know what happened. Or maybe it's their skill level. They're actually learning how to work with human behavior, and they're crushing it with no matter what they sell. Jerry, any last words of advice for anybody on here? I appreciate you being on here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I obviously came in the lowest level, so I had to work extra hard. I had to pick through all the free videos and take 100 page of NEPQ 2.0 notes and a lot of trial and error. And
yeah, if you would have been in 3.0, you would have already had all that in like 3 days.
Yeah, I went through months of just winging it. I'm still winging it, as you can see, but look at the results. So
hey, at least
I can't wait to.
At least you're winging it with much better skill level, right? Going from
I can't wait to get in the higher. Who knows what the possibility is?
Yeah, going from 6, 7, 8 grand a month to 60 and 70 grand a month consistently in commissions in only about 5 months of being in the program. We have a lot of people like that for sure in a lot of industries. But well done, my friend. You put in the effort. You put in the work ethic to, once you got into the virtual training, to actually go through it and actually apply it, right? Some people might never go through it.
I mean, I practiced every day, and it's just I put in a lot of work. So it wasn't free ride even with that.
Yeah, wait till you get into inner circle though. If you're making 60 or 70 grand a month in commissions, you get in the inner circle, you'll be well over 100 grand a month pretty consistently for sure.
Awesome.
So, all right. Thanks for everybody being on. We will go live tomorrow in the Facebook group Sales Revolution tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, with a live Q&A where I will answer every single question you have about selling or sales. I'll get to as many questions as I can. Now, if you want to be like Jerry, you want to learn advanced skills, you want to start making your first 10 grand commission months, 20 grand commission months. And I don't mean, when I say make your first 10 or 20 or 30 grand commission months, I don't mean you make 21 month and drop back down to 5 the next, or you make 18 one month and then you make 6 next month. I mean, every freaking month. And you only keep going up from there. That's what our clients are doing in every industry. Okay. So if you want to get your first 10 grand commission months, your 20 grand commission months, your 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 grand commission months, message me right now on the Facebook group or on LinkedIn or in my personal Facebook, and I will personally message you back, or our CEO, Matt Ryder, or our Chief Revenue Officer, Marco Cortese, and we will give you some training options so you can make the type of money that Jerry and our clients are making in over 150 industries. It's not just solar. 150 plus industries are trying. I think actually somebody told me in the team it's over 160 now. We have a new client in Berlin that sells seatbelts. That's an industry. You have to have seatbelts. They have to be sold to car manufacturers. Okay. So if you want those skills, just post hashtag NEPQ here in the comments, post hashtag NEPQ or message me directly on Messenger. If you're on LinkedIn or my personal Facebook and you're not in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution, what the hell are you doing? Get in there. Go to salesrevolution.pro. You can go to salesrevolution.pro, salesrevolution.pro. I'll have somebody drop it in there on the team, salesrevolution.pro. We go live in the group about 3 to 4 times a week with different trainings, different Q&As, even different stuff that we give out just to help salespeople sell more. Okay. All right, Jerry.
Hey, Jeremy. I just
Yep.
wanted to give a shout out to the company I'm with too, soulq.com. They're growing like crazy. So looking for solar people.
I always ask our clients, because I always know if we've done our job right as a company. Are you married or single?
Married.
Okay. Does your spouse like the fact that you got involved in the training?
She doesn't know because she doesn't live with me. So,
well, she knows you're making more money. Is she happy?
I'm technically married. Yes.
Okay. Is she happy?
That's one. I think she's happy.
Okay. Well, if you're paying for everything and you've got 10 times more money, I hope she's happy with this at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
That's a whole nother subject, man. I appreciate you. I know I've gone through that before. I know what you're going through, my man. All right. Love you, dude. Jerry, you're the man. You're the legend. Talk to you soon. Thanks everybody for being on here. You want to learn those type of skills that Jerry and our clients are losing, thousands of our clients are learning. Just post hashtag NEPQ and we'll message you back. Jerry, enjoy Salt Lake City. We'll see you soon.
Take care.